Everyone. I would like to introduce Dr. Sandra Rose Michael. She is a pioneering and researcher and developer of the Energy Enhancement System, a wonderful technology, what you can see here behind me. We have her here today for the Bioscaler event, the first event in Germany, and we will looking forward to many others. Today we will dive a little bit deeper into the technology, what is it about, how she came to doing it, and really learn a little bit more about this whole technology. I'm really looking forward, and I'm honored to be here together with Dr. Sandra Rose Michael. So I would like to welcome you. And
thank you for inviting us to Germany.
You're welcome. You're more than welcome. So tell me a little bit about the technology. How did you came to developing it? To where comes the idea for such a wonderful experience? So I really saw many of the testimonials, and please go forward. What was the idea behind it?
The idea is, how do we bring healing to the world, literally? And it gives the body the energy to heal itself. It creates a hyper-healthy, energetic environment that we would have if we had heaven on earth, literally. I grew up with technology. I grew up with doing all of Tesla's experiments because my parents met in engineering physics. My mother, the nuclear physicist, my dad, the aeronautical, electrical, mechanical, structural engineer, and grew up doing all of the top secret experiments and learning from that, from transducers and receivers and all that, and then started in chiropractic, reflexology, nutrition, Ayurveda, studying in 1971. And that principle is, our underlying principle is, the power that made the body heals the body. So how do we plug the body back into that cosmic light socket? I see the body as a circuitry, you know.
Wonderful.
You know, like I built circuit boards and things as a child, and everything's electrical, mechanical, structural engineering, and physics. The energy, all life is energy, and it's how that flows through the body. So I studied Rife technologies and radionics and photonics in the 70s, and I built my first, after much experiments and research, I built my first scalar healing light chamber.
Amazing.
1978.
78, so it's not that new.
No, and that was, it was miraculous results. We saw anything and everything heal Because the body, when it has the right energy, wants to heal anything and everything. And it was the precise geometries, as you know, doing installations of the technology, how precise.
Oh yeah, precise is not precise enough. Yeah.
Yes, it's as precise to create that phase conjugate wave pair, to create that implosion and release of charge that the body can relate to, along with the light. Because the photonics are your quantums of light, and prime function of our DNA itself is the storage of photons.
Yes.
So we are bodies and beings of light. So this is bioactive fields that the body relates to use the energy to heal itself.
That is wonderful. That's amazing. So what do you say is that when you go into the technology and you spend time with it, the technology itself creates the field what we all would have when we live in an optimal environment. Mm-hmm. So more or less this field we would all have. So when we go inside the field and spend time there, and I see it in all the centers, they have a lot of chairs, sometimes they have beds there. So you would recommend them to go inside later, and then they will synchronize with their environment and take on over the energy?
Creating coherence is absolutely vital. Coherence is that state where there's no impedance.
Yeah.
No resistance, so that the cell's signaling, everything is energy in the body and energy flow. So it supports the ideal optimal functioning in a 0 point field. It's a 0 point, that scalar vortex, infinitely projected Mobius. It's a torsion field. We can talk all the kinds of science.
Yeah.
But it's an ideal energetic healing vortex, a pristine energy, where the air is pure, it's ionizing, ozonating there. So everything perfectly oxygenates. And you have the active hydrogen, which is your ultimate antioxidant, which creates your pH and alkalinize the body. It needs to be alkaline to heal. Cancer only exists where there's acidification and lack of oxygen. It's called hypoxia.
Yeah.
So there has to be acidification, hypoxia, and cancer doesn't exist till the millivoltage of the cells is below -20. We're meant to be at 70 to 90 millivoltage when healthy. So this raises that cell membrane potential, like every cell's a battery, raises that cell membrane potential, literally the millivoltage of the cells, activates the mitochondria, the ATP production, all that kind of there's so many ways that technology works for the body to just support it in doing what it would ideally want to do, which is function perfectly and more optimally all the time. It's cumulative. One aspect of scalar is their organizational fields, their informational, intentional organizational fields. And every time you come in, the body reorganizes to a higher level of function.
That is amazing. What do you say is the first things what a person would notice when entering the room?
So they might notice the chairs. They might notice.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. No, I mean, what is the really feeling of the body? So, is any experience or is the experience for everyone the same, or?
Everybody feels it or senses it a little differently. They may feel the energy moving around to unhealed injuries, old injuries. The body gets excited. It's literally cellular excitation. So the body gets excited and grabs the energy, and it's doing everything it can, but also detoxification. But how you get the most benefit, where the magic is in sleeping in it.
Yeah, because when we sleep or when we eat something, then the body needs the energy to digest. When we are going outside, playing football or running around the whole time, then our energy goes out. So when we sleep, we regenerate. And this is, I think, the best, because we're really sleeping and then being exposed to the energy.
The more the body relaxes, the more the body can use the energy. And it's in the delta and theta brain states, which is your deep meditation, and sleep states, which is where the body can repair, rejuvenate, regenerate, use all the energy internally before you take it out and have all the energy to live your greatest life and peak performance and
first the
function.
Inside, then the reflection on the outside. Yeah.
And optimal brain states as well. You know, the right-left brain synchronization gives whole brain thinking, but also it's taking people out of that brain dominance, flight or fight, out of reactive mode, you know, where the body is using all its energy to cope with the
Yes.
hostile environment. Instead, in that point of alignment and balance, the body has all the energy to respond to all the stressors appropriately versus being stressed out.
That's right. Saw it for myself. The first times I visited the system, I noticed myself getting really relaxed and focused and more balanced out. I really saw in the next few days that my concentration was way better, and I was really balancing out, so you could feel the left and right hemisphere coming back into alignment and coming from a coherent state, and you're working out of a coherent state and not
Yeah.
from a. Because most likely in the environment you have either just the creative side or just the focus. So you're not really balancing this out. And now it comes back into alignment and you really work from this field.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And then you have all the energy to do everything you really want to do, which is live your greatest life, your greatest love. But it's from that point of inner peace.
Yeah.
And it's such awareness states, right? You found that with the meditation, but the expanded awareness and lucid dreaming, the deep, deep sleep. Because
Yes.
one of the first symptoms of the electrosmog, the electropollution, we're being bombarded 24/7, EMF, ELF, radiation, microwave, Wi-Fi, all these things. And so then the body stays in, you know, that state of reacting to the external environment. It's being bombarded 24/7. So first symptom of electropollution or electrosmog or the radiation is sleep disturbances. So that's probably the first thing you see is people can sleep very, very deep, and that's where you heal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you would really recommend the people not to go on their phones or read a book or talk a little bit or talk with their friends in the system. You would really recommend them to just relax, do something what you maybe not have much time to. Close your eyes, relax, go inside, and try to sleep in the best case.
Yeah, it's like your ultimate power nap, and the whole body goes,
Yeah.
I can finally really, really relax because it's a pristine environment. But it's also supporting those ideal brain states. The actual research from the head of brain research for the Pentagon actually found that you could go to a deeper meditational state than a Tibetan monk in 7 minutes.
Yeah, I saw your research material to this, that you researched the people who meditate a long time and after, or
A 350-person study on meditation is also out there.
Amazing.
We've had research on this technology since I created this version of the technology, because my first scalar healing light chamber was only one person at a time. And I'm going, wait a minute, God, how do we heal the world? How do we bring healing to the whole world? And so this was the version that was created in 1996, and we've had research, much research since then. 2001, 132-patient study by a Johns Hopkins trained oncologist, peer-reviewed published studies. It's been at University of Hawaii Medical School with our Harvard MD, JD, MPH professor of medicine. He's had it for like 18 years now. So
Yes.
there is long-term research with this, although primarily it was going in for private homes. Although we have all the research with top scientists and medical doctors from around the world, technology was all over the world already with like 20-some centers available to people when we did that revolution of healing.
The revolution of healing, and now the initiative is created and to heal the world,
So
bring the technology to the people.
That came out, that interview with Jason Shirka, who also created Unified Healing.
Yeah.
After that interview, to support all the centers that needed to go out, because it was always, when it goes out, it has to be everywhere fast. So that was May 27th, 2022, a little over 2 years now. We have over 700 centers in 57 countries.
Amazing.
And the best part is all the miracles that we hear of from all over the world.
So I will definitely hear lots of the miracles and the testimonial from you. But for me personally, I see a thing like this, you can really just bring out in the world when it really helps something, when you see the people. Because for myself, I opened my center and I didn't do much of advertising or whatever. I took the time to talk with my guests, but they spread the word because they experience it themselves, and I don't need advertising. We don't need advertising.
It's always been word of mouth.
It is
more
word
than
of
anything.
mouth. Because we can explain or talk all day long, but really to sit in the system and experience for yourself, it's something completely different. So to get to the next topic, what is your favorite testimonial?
Oh.
There you see it all over. So maybe
so many.
I heard the testimonial from you, the story with the small child and the seizures, and I really love this. This really was touching for my heart. So what do you want to share it with us?
That is one of my favorite stories for sure. And this was a little girl just under 4 years old, had been having 8 to 10 grand mal seizures a day since she was 2, after her well baby visit. So since 2 years old, 8 to 10 grand mal seizures every day, 8 to 10 petit mal. They had tried everything allopathically, naturopathically. They had tried chelation for pulling the heavy metals. They had tried, they had bought their own hyperbaric chamber. She was still having 8 to 10 grand mal seizures a day. And she ended up being brought to Dr. Terry Shintani to the medical school with an 8-unit EESystem at University of Hawaii Medical School.
Yeah.
And they brought her in, and they had all the seizure logs, and so they're tracking, and there was some reduction of the seizure intensity and rate after the first 1 hour.
Yeah.
After the second hour, more. But she had her first seizure-free day after her third 1-hour session. Now, my favorite part of that, I mean, imagine that as a mother. I mean, I have 4 children.
Yeah.
Or as a grandmother, and what you would go through with that full-blown grand mal seizures. It's just a nightmare. Horrific.
There's nothing what you want more than to help your child. For sure.
But my favorite thing was when the mother called me and thanked me for having her daughter back. She said her daughter smiled at her for the first time in 2 years.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah. And she went on to be healthy.
Amazing. So you're really...
So that was a peer-reviewed published study. That got published in the Journal of Neurology Research.
Yes.
Because a little child could not fake not having seizures.
That's right. You also see it with animals when they come into the system.
Mm-hmm.
Animals, you can have placebo effects for human, but if you bring an animal inside the system, you didn't explain them what happens there. You can't fake animals' reaction to the system, and I see it with all the animals who come.
They're so much easier than humans, aren't they?
I would say.
I mean, the joke was always they carry the animal in and they walk out.
Yeah, and what I really find interesting, the animals are really, really relaxing quite fast. So most of the dogs, when they visit the center, they lay inside the middle point of the system. That's amazing. But back to your research for the study for the small child with the seizures, we translated this study or this material. So we will also put it up on our website and maybe put it underneath so the people can find this. And we created a site that we have all your research material translated to German.
Oh, great.
And to spread the word a little bit further.
There's so much, too.
Oh, no, I know. It took some time.
So much. And you also translated the Revolution of Healing interview.
Yes,
to
exactly.
German.
I also did it with a platform to have the voice in German. So it's really interesting that we have now a video from you having the Revolution of Healing video with the German voice, and it sounds
the German
almost...
voiceover?
Yes, you didn't saw it? I will show it to you later.
I know there's interviews out there with me because there was a miracle story from somebody from Algeria. I think it's Algeria. Yeah, and so there's interviews out there with voiceover in Arabic.
that must sound interesting.
It was very interesting for me.
But you can speak German, so the voice you have to see it later. I will show it to you. So maybe it sounds the same. It's funny if you see your own videos with speaking
with
many
my
languages.
German bloodline.
Yes, with your German bloodline. Amazing. So tell me a little bit about the technicality behind the system. What we see is we have a black box there, so we have a big rack and we have a black box, and in front the monitors. I guess the black box behind is the actual system what creates the torsion field and the scalar waves, where the scalar waves are inside. But can you explain a little bit more about the monitors and what is actually shown there?
Yes, and everybody wants to know exactly how it works. It really doesn't matter so much because it's like a whole body cell charger. People don't understand exactly how their cell phone charger works, but they know how to use it.
That's right, yeah.
And this just gives the body, it's like a whole body cell charger. You recharge your whole body as quickly and easily as you recharge your cell phone. It takes a couple hours to give the body the energy to really use the energy to heal. But the black box, it's a black box technology. These are your field engine generators. And on the screen, you have like 12 strands of DNA. It looks precisely like out of the Genome Project screens, even though I created this way before that. This was the first full system. I started working on it in the early 90s. So, you know, I'm really a hands-on healer.
Yes.
And is translating all my healing work into the technology. So it looks like 12 strands of DNA because it is designed to bring the DNA back to its original divine design, its original divine matrix, because the DNA is our God code.
Yes.
And radiation, like my mother was fissioning plutonium, working on the bomb. So I know radiation from the inside out. And radiation unzips the DNA. Well, coherent unified fields put the DNA back to its original design. And
you have actually proven that sitting in the system regenerates or puts the broken DNA back into place.
That was the original research by the top geneticist for NASA out of Baylor University, and they found it was repairing all the genetic damage, the breaks in the DNA, and lengthening telomeres. So this is very, very important work. We also have a full study being done by a professor of medicine right now on the telomere research.
Yes.
Yeah, which, you know, I mean, I know the doctor herself, when she did 2 sessions, 3 hours each, she found, according to her telomeres, she was 3 years younger just after 2 sessions.
Amazing.
You might not feel that.
Who doesn't want this?
Yeah, we'd rather grow younger than older.
That's right.
Especially at my age.
Oh, you're looking beautiful. Just look at your hair. It's amazing.
Yeah, people always want to know. Yes, I'm in my 70s now. But, yeah, so we've been teaching more than 45 years. This is my life. It is my reality. But she got her cube, and she found she was 15 years younger biologically than chronologically after she got our EE cube. And then once she got her 24-unit system, which, you know, these are the panels in the 24-unit. Once she got that, she found the research actually showed that at 54, she was testing around 31.
Amazing, amazing.
What's that worth? Is there anybody, you can't be too healthy.
No.
You can't look too good, feel too good.
There is no too much good energy.
Yeah. So the body relates to it. You see the colors, so you can see that as polychromatic therapy or biomodulation. As far as with the colors, you've got your like ultimate color therapy.
Yeah, we know that color has a really positive effect on the body because we are actually, all the cells is just light. It's biophotonic light. So if I would explain it like this, that if you go inside the system, we all have our light codes. We all have our blueprints of how our cells would look like. So if I go into the room and sit down, then my body will be be informed or will recognize the patterns and the actual blueprint how they should look like.
Yeah.
And then it will take over and take the information and regenerate everything what is out of alignment back to incoherency. Is this right?
That's correct. That dynamic homeostasis, where the body is continually reorganizing to higher levels of function, but it's balance. It's
Yes.
balance, everything being balanced, and reminding the body of its original design.
Oh, yes. I see it by myself. I was a person who made a lot of sport before and still continuing with this. And I thought, all right, why should I try the technology? It was really, really interesting at the beginning, but I thought, okay, so why? I'm feeling good. But the moment I came to the system, I really, my mind was like, okay, I don't know, this is extra actually. But the moment I sat down and relaxed really, after the next couple of weeks and months, my whole body, my concentration, my focus, my state of being changed completely. And I always see, no matter how good you feel, sometimes we are so used to this environment with all the stress and the incoherency that we can't even remember how we would look like or function perfectly. So it's really interesting, even if you're totally healthy and go inside. And I, for myself, noticed many improvements. So this is just amazing to see.
Peak performance for athletes because the reaction times are so accelerated.
Yes.
A lot of the kids that we've worked with become like superstars. One he came to Vegas and went back, and his coach said, "What happened to him in Vegas?" He came to our center in Vegas and went back, and he became the top pick in the nation in basketball.
Amazing.
Another one went to the Junior Olympics and took first place in judo.
Yes.
But the injury recovery also, where we've had kids that were going to be out the rest of the season, and very next game they're back in the game.
And that is amazing. That is really
And they won.
for sure, definitely. Okay, so we spoke a little bit about the biophotonic light and the interaction with the body. What are your I can't say favorite. No, I have to think out a question. So what is really a thing what you would like to share for the people, what you want to give them? Because you're a hands-on healer, you're really dedicated your whole life. I think your whole life you've really been researching about it. You grew up with it, and I just love to see the people who come into the system. So what is the thing what you would really want to share or bring forward for them to know?
We just want everybody to live their greatest life. No more excuses. What if you could be the superheroes? What if you have your superpowers? What if you could live your greatest life, your greatest love, with no more, So we've seen anything and everything heal, and I love that. The blind seeing, the lame walking, the deaf hearing. We love miracles. I mean, at home, I think I have a collection of 4 or 5 walkers. People don't, they come in with them and then they forget about them. They leave them. We have that after strokes, all kinds of radical, crazy miracles. Just amazing stories. I like hearing too how they just can't find the cancer anymore.
So you say for people, I also experienced this once, and I am also in conversation with some center owners who had this experience. So you would say, for your personal opinion, that when the body is in his optimal charge, so we have 3 aspects. We have the oxygen, we have the cell voltage, and we have the pH. So if those 3 things are more or less in alignment and in the optimal state, then there is no way for cancer to develop and to spread. Because we also know that people can have cancer cells inside their body and it will not spread. So they're still healthy human beings, and there are some who have the cells in their body and it will spread. So what do you think is the difference about that?
Yeah, when you change the bioterrain, so when the body has the right energy, it really wants to heal everything. And cancer can only exist where there's acidification of the tissue. We need to be alkaline. Alkalinize or Die is the name of a book. The pH Miracle by Robert Young, Dr. Robert Young, The pH Miracle. Very, very important information to understand. Or, I worked with Dr. Panos Pappas and his theories on cancer as well. And it goes back to Otto Warburg and his original research. So there has to be a lack of oxygen, hypoxic environment, low millivoltage, low charge, low energy.
Yes.
And, because when you get super healthy, there's no more dis-ease. And one of the things we really want to focus on with this too is one of the biggest gifts of being healthy in this time, because we have all the air, the food, the water is so polluted.
Yes, we have so less nutrition in the food, we have pesticides, so we have the stress, we have all the electrosmog around us. So
the radiation, and it's like you're living in a microwave being cooked if you're not in our technology. Literally, it's like you're being microwaved. The radiation levels are so high.
You really have to do something in this environment or in this world to really help your body balancing out. Yes.
Yeah, to be able to stay healthy. Yeah, and so one of the gifts of the technology, one of the biggest things, when the body has the charge, when the body has the energy, the first thing it wants to do is clean house.
So detoxification.
Detox. Cheer your body on. Thank it for letting go of everything that would have ever created dis-ease in the first place. But the first thing, the body wants to clean house. When it has the charge, it wants to discharge everything that doesn't belong. And so the first thing that's important after doing a session, besides drinking a lot of water and hydrating, make sure the bowels are moving.
Yeah.
Because the body's going to be pushing out what doesn't belong. And the other thing is that salt bath. That's what I call the world's easiest detox, because the skin is our largest organ of elimination. And so a hot salt bath, that's sea salt, real salt, mineral salt, that salt works with the charge in the body, so that it helps reinforce that potassium-sodium pump and the charge in the body, because the body requires salt for the charge.
Yes.
Requires good salt for proper heart function, requires good minerals. But that salt, when you put that in solution, that's a kilo of salt? A pound of salt?
500 kilo.
That is 500
that will be an interesting bath. 500 gram that sea salt, 125 grams of borax, and 25 grams of natron, so baking soda. That are your recommendations.
Yeah, that's an ideal bath solution for the detox that's required in these times. The bath for radiation is the salt. It doesn't have to be Dead Sea salt. It can be any sea salt. It can be Celtic, Himalayan. I
think the most important thing there is to just leave it in their natural space without perfumes or whatever. There's some things you really have to look, but
not just your table salt, because that's just sodium chloride.
Yes.
And you want the salt with all the minerals, and they all carry charge a little differently. But the salt creates a negative charge. The toxins are a positive charge. So when you open up the pores, it's a bit of hyperthermia, you raise the body temperature, that pumps up the immune function, and the body is trying to push toxins out of every nook and cranny. The salt will pull it like a magnet, because of the negative charge pulling out the positively charged toxins, and it pulls the acidity out of the tissues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what would you say when a person comes inside? I think the body has so much toxins laid, and the body stores the toxins. So you will not really feel the toxins inside the body over the days. So when you go into the system and your whole body will want to regenerate and want to get those things out, then it will spread it or get the toxins first into the system again, to let it out through water or through, like you said, the salt.
The salt bath is nothing does what a bath does, because the skin is our largest organ of elimination, and it's the third kidneys. So this is a way to take all the stress off the kidneys and improve kidney function as well.
what do you say about people who experience detoxification symptoms like stress, nervousness, or
Yeah.
what would you say though?
Well, some of those toxins are irritants. They're irritating. They can be aggravating. So some people can get like a little aggravated until that's released, until that's discharged. Or somebody might just simply get a headache, which means that the colon's been backed up. It means dehydration, because what's behind almost all dis-ease, aging, and chronic pain is acute chronic dehydration. So the technology allows the body to hydrate more efficiently because it opens up the permeability, the cell permeability. There's a 28% reduction in surface tension of water.
Yes,
Makes
we
water
did
more
research on this.
hydrating.
Yes.
And so that's vital to get that hydration back into the body.
And our body is to 70% out of water, so it's really important to hydrate yourself, because the more you drink, the more you're able, or the cells are able to really get things going and really detoxify. If you're dehydrated,
And
then
flush. Yeah, so if there's a bit of a headache, just drink a big glass of water, get right back in.
Yes.
Get right back in. Give the body more energy to move the rest out. Don't stop the detox. You don't want to reabsorb the toxins, and the body have to start over on them again.
Yeah.
So you don't want to back off from the detox. You want to cheer the body on and thank the body for letting go of anything and everything that it no longer needs, or that would ever create dis-ease or ever created dis-ease or dysfunction in the body.
So I guess when you experience detoxification symptoms, then you just should go through it, because you started the process now, and it's better to maybe get a headache or feel for a short period of time a little bit nervous or feel those symptoms, but have it then really out of your body and your body can regenerate, than not going through the process and still having the toxins in the body and maybe have some unwanted surprises in the future.
Yeah, you want to get super healthy. And thank the body for doing whatever it takes, because the infinite innate intelligence of the body knows what it's doing.
Yes.
It knows what it needs to do. It knows how to heal. It'll never push too many toxins out at once that you can't handle, because there is a natural intelligence to the body.
Yes.
And it's about how it's in alignment with true best and highest. You know, so the highest potential of the body. You're going to trust your body and thank it for doing whatever it takes to totally heal and function more and more optimally all the time.
Yes. So you have also those medallions, and I love mine. Tell me a little bit about this, because this also helps your body when you're right now not in the EESystem to really strengthen your field. And I, for myself, notice a lot of differences, especially when I'm flying with those things. I always make sure that I have my bracelets and my medallion. But you take it to another level, because you said you have 4 on each arm if you go flying.
At least, yeah.
At least, yeah.
And at least 2 medallions.
So tell me a little bit more about those.
It's a way to carry the technology with you, wear it wherever you go, but don't leave home without them, because you want the body to be able to stay strong.
Yes.
It reminds the body and the blood to stay in integrity, to remind the body so that you stay strong no matter what you're exposed to. So we've embedded the technology very effectively and efficiently. And
inside this
people can go to
medallions.
healing.com and even just pull up the miracles
with those
the medallions.
Oh, yes.
These little buggers really work.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. So I, for example, wear many of those, and I really see, and I never experienced this before with other medallions, is that they, like your body, change the colors. So that is really interesting, because no matter how my field is, this will interact with me, and I interact with the medallion, like I also interact with the field, and the field interacts with me. So I know that you recommend those people who come into the system to bring their medications or bring their salt. What is the reason behind this?
Because anything you bring into the field will carry a scalar enhancement with it. Anything you bring in is energy enhanced. because scalar is nonlinear, non-Hertzian, fifth-dimensional, standing columnar waves beyond relative time and space. It's an infinity wave. It's a fifth-dimensional field, and it'll carry that coherent energy with you. And so it helps, like your, for example, Dr. Ed Group,
Yes.
with his global healing formulas and products is fantastic. He did actual research with our Stanford, Harvard biophysicist, Dr. Glenn Ryan, and found at least a minimally 40% improvement in the bioactivity, an enhancement to his products.
Amazing.
So any supplements brought in will be scalar
Just by bringing
benefited.
those into the system and leaving
Yeah.
it there.
And people that have been on medications, it'll help make them a little bit more biocompatible, less toxic, and to make them work better. So maybe you can start stepping off.
That is wonderful to hear. Thank you really
Yeah.
much for those insights.
Yeah. So people that have had diabetes and things like that, they want to check their blood sugar after being in the system. Not just take their standard medication. You want to monitor the blood sugar, which they should be doing anyway, because we've had profound improvements.
Yes. We also see this when we're at the topic monitoring. I really recommend if you have the possibility to monitor yourself, for example, if you have diabetes, to do this before the sessions and after the sessions. But what we also implementing in our system, or in our 24-unit system, is we have the BioWell technology. I know that you also worked with Nima Fashid, and he. So I think the BioWell technology is really, really interesting to have your before and after scans, because it's like the second you walk into the system, you really make the pictures of yourself. So how works is it makes a picture of your biophotonic lights. So
the biofield. It's the research on the biofield that's been done long time research. I mean, and actually some of our research was done with the bioelectrography by Dr. Konstantin Korotkov.
Yes.
And the research was done in profound improvements in the biofield, but it's quantifiable research, because you might not feel your brain changing, your blood changing,
your cells
regenerating. But this now you can quantify the changes through all the systems in the body.
Yeah, you can see when they visiting the system before and afterwards that the organs going into the liver activity is showing higher. The parasympathetic nervous system is getting into a healing state. You're not so much in the fight-flight. It's really, really interesting, even for the people, to really see before and after. Like you said, you can't really see how much your brain states are balancing. You will notice many things, but
really
in the
feel
next
your
days.
blood changing, or
Yes.
How do you know when the body's taking the energy and using it to repair the liver?
Yes.
That liver regeneration, that liver detox, your detox pathways through the liver, through the kidneys. And you can quantify it with this technology. And it shows such profound benefits and changes that the brain can't possibly cognate all that.
Oh, yes. No, I'm not able to see if my blood is changing or my liver is working a little bit more or less. Maybe someone else is able to measure this. But I really see good improvements for the people to visit the system, especially when they come the first times, to really see what their body is doing.
It's like a reality check.
It's a reality check, yes, I would say so.
Rather than people go, I feel fine, but not so fine when you look at where their functions are.
Yes. That is really amazing. So what I would like to know is, what are your plans for the future? I know the last 2 years were kind of busy for you. You opened up over 700 centers. We are all public. We have many centers in Germany now, in Europe, and it really became international and public, and that is really interesting to see. And I really love to see how it's going and how many people are stepping up. I'm in communication with many of those center owners, and just hearing their experience and
the stories.
The stories are just amazing. I can't say that I didn't hear the story. I heard everything throughout the testimonials. Everything you just really see improving. and after such short amount of hours. It is all a process. Like, I don't go into the gym and come out as a bodybuilder. I'm happy to, but so it is a process. But
Healing
this
is
technology,
inside out a process.
Exactly.
And behind the physical toxicity is always the emotional toxicity.
That's right as well.
And so the healing is a process from the inside out, not outside in.
Yeah.
It's not like the technology heals you. It's always up to you and your body what you do with the energy.
Nothing from the outside heals the inside. You heal yourself. Yes. This body creates, this technology creates the field what you would have. You synchronize and you decide what you want to go further.
Yeah,
Yes.
cell resonance.
Yes.
DNA and cell resonance, that German,
The book from Professor Dr.
Constantine.
Weil. It's a really, really interesting book to read. Also, a person who is not studying this for many years, like you did, is able to read it. Maybe you have to read one or two sides twice, but it's really, really interesting to see the interaction between scalar and technology and the interaction with the DNA.
Yeah.
So, what are your plans for the future with the technologies? What do you want to
We have
experience?
many plans.
All right. Do you want to share some of those?
I was just on the phone, the conference call last night. Everything is in place for the funding of 1,100 wellness centers for the veterans. It's called VET USA, VET, V-E-T, like the military veterans, because they've come back so damaged, so much toxic exposure, so much damage. And so there's 1,100 wellness centers worldwide for
Amazing.
the veterans. And that project is now funded.
It's done. Wow, amazing.
Ready to
That
launch
sounds
in
nice.
October.
It launched
Everything,
in
October
October.
1st is our technical launch date for that.
Yes.
I was also on with our chief scientist we've got the program for all the advanced water remediation that does communities, cities, water sources, and takes that water with the PFAS, the radiation, all the PCBs, all the different, and takes it down to the atoms with no toxic discharge, because it's taking it down to the atoms to clean up all of our water supplies. We have everything to fix and heal and cure everything.
Yes.
Also the projects for the cleanups of the ocean, the cleanups of our, like Fukushima.
Yes, I
the
know
power
you're
plant
part of
sites.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, these are some of the bigger projects.
Yes, amazing. So I noticed that when you were talking about the water, that you have a new product in your shop. Tell me a little bit about this this hydrogen water bottle. What you have? How important is hydrogen for your body? I just want to hear your experience out of it.
Yeah, well, people can look up the benefits of hydrogen water, and that's kind of a new thing that people are excited about.
Yeah.
So we're hypercharging. You saw our little hydrogen water bottles. So this is a personal thing versus cleaning up the ocean.
Yes.
But it's a personal thing. And that active hydrogen is our ultimate antioxidant. So it's going to reduce inflammation, bring more hydration. It's structuring it. It's bringing the information into the water. And that's people are going to see profound benefits. And it's just a little thing that you can carry in your bag wherever you go.
Yeah, this is so interesting. Some tiny things like the medallions or the water bottle you can always take with you, and you have the plans really to continue. I really see every day as I was seeing you or following your work that you really dedicated your work and your whole life to changing this planet to a better world. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to help with that in just small things. If it's just installations or doing stuff like this, then we see all the other center owners. I love and I really want to honor you for stepping up and doing this amazing work.
Thank you for stepping up. You're the first female quantum gladiatress as far as doing the installations. That's a lot of work.
That's right, yeah.
It's very physical, but it's very precise. Very, the perseverance it takes to get it correct, for it to work properly. And last night you got to see the validation of how well your system is doing, because Nima Farshid did before and afters of our people just sitting in the system, not even eyes closed, not even proper session, but profound benefits, right?
Yeah, he scanned all the people. We had we had yesterday the Centra Owner event. We had this meeting with with you and Nima and all these wonderful Centra owners from the German-speaking realm. And yes, he measured, I think, half of the crew who was there. We were like 35 people, 40 people, and we really could see amazing results. You really see how the body comes from the stressful state into the healing state in such short amount of hours. It was how long did we sit there? 4 hours, 5 hours?
No, not even that.
Not even that? Yeah, it is amazing to see what can happen in such a short time. So I would really recommend to people, even though you learn a lot, you see a lot of testimonials, just invent the time or spend the time, invest the time, experience it yourself, because I can say anything I want. I can talk from my own experience, but what better thing could be to really experience it just yourself and make your own opinion about the whole thing.
And having your own center and working with so many of the center owners. But isn't it the best thing, I think, is witnessing the miracles?
Yes,
the
exactly.
children especially. And
oh, I love to see it with children. We had one small boy, and he was in the development processes. I think he was almost 2 years, and he was in the development processes always behind. So
he wasn't walking yet or
he
talking,
wasn't walking,
right?
he wasn't talking. He was aware of the situations around in the room, and he looked really, he was a cute little mini-me. He was really, really sweet, but you could see that there is something what needed to improve. And I know his mom came into and talked with me, and I said, okay, just come here. She visitor system for, I think, 1 week. She booked herself in for like 4 or 5 hours, depending on how the child is. And after the 1 week, we saw not directly much improvements. He was sleeping better, he was more balanced, so that there are some things what we noticed directly. But after, I think, 1 or 2 weeks, she said, Alina, it is amazing. First, we were just able to hold hands and he could walk, but otherwise, if we didn't give him the hands, he will not walk at all. He will just crawl. And then we decided to just don't give him the hands anymore. And after 1.5 weeks, he just walked. And since this time, his development process are off the roof. His finger movements and the precisiveness of opening bottles, closing things, and really the awareness is so sharpened. And this is, I think
he's speaking.
He's speaking now. He's multiple language. Her parents are 2 languages, so he understands German. He starts to speak in Spanish because it's the mother language, but he also understands a little bit of English. So it's just amazing what you can see in children. Like
and
you
he's
said.
Stringing together sentences too, right?
Yes, exactly. You saw him yesterday. That is amazing.
Yeah, so he's now super bright.
Oh yes. I'm looking forward to see him the next few months and to see how fast this is growing.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories too is a little boy, 6 years old, was totally nonverbal. They'd done every therapy on the planet, totally nonverbal. He came, put his forehead in respect to each of the screens, went to the center point. First, they found that he slept through the night for the first time ever in his life. He slept through the whole night, which is huge. And then they found that he could not focus. He could not, could not focus on looking at your face or your eyes, could not focus at all. So they found he was focusing and mouthing words. And then they found the big thing, because the nonverbal children get so frustrated, so frustrated. He was happy. He was just happy. But the favorite thing was 1 week later, after doing what we call the scalar slumber party, because that's what's great for the kids and great for everybody, that scalar slumber party. 1 week later, the mother called and put him on the phone with me, and he sang his entire ABCs to me.
Oh, amazing.
And that makes it all worth it.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just something different to see it with small children or elderly people. It's just, but if you see the improvements in kids and you see their smiling eyes after because they're trying to do something, but sometimes they're, especially in those worlds,
They
they're
get
so
frustrated.
Yes, and they know what they can develop, but they're so detoxified sometimes from all the products what they get that they can't really develop in the speed what they usually are able to do.
Yeah.
So coming to the system, detoxifying, loosen many things up, and you see
Enhanced brain
myriad.
function, but also it's the detoxification, as you said, of the, it could be aluminum, mercury, the heavy metals, heavy metal detox. We had another doctor who brought her son, she had done chelation and everything, brought her son with autism
Yes.
to a system and put him in the bath, and the bath water turned black after one bath, after one time in. Heavy metal detox.
You already also said that if you want to see how the detox is, or if you want to have a bad surprise, then buy a. What did you say you should buy?
A black light.
What are your experience with this? Tell me, please.
Because you can see parasites glowing and moving in the water. It's freaked out my special ops guys, my special forces guys. I go, oh my God, that's the scariest stuff I've ever seen in my life.
I believe
said,
so.
I don't recommend you tell people to do that. They go, but it's good too. Sometimes you see parasites and things in the water. The detox bath is all important.
Yes. Yeah, I think really to loosen everything up. It's a process for the body, so the less toxification you have into the body, the more it is able to really also get the nutrients, because I also know the more toxins you have inside, the less your body is able to really get those nutrients. So to really
the cellular absorption rates are very enhanced.
Yes. So I really thank you for being here and visiting us. And you will also speak later a little more about the details of the event. And I'm just honored and so grateful to have you here, and also that you visit our system and met so many Sandra owners. I'm looking forward to our next interview and to really invite you the next time to Germany to maybe...
Now that you're an event producer.
Yeah, I put it to my resume as well.
Thanks for doing such a beautiful job. Thanks for hosting, being such a beautiful hostess. And
You're welcome.
Dankeschön.
Bitte sehr.